Meanwhile, during his victory speech, U.S. President-elect Donald Trump gave a shout out to constituencies that have basically traditionally voted for Democrats and who have now swung towards him. He mentioned black voters, women, Hispanics, Arab and Muslim Americans, but he missed out one key demographic. Can you guess which group he snubbed in a way? The Jewish Americans. Trump did not mention Jews, a demographic that he said before the election would be blamed if he fails to win. You see, in America, Jewish voters have traditionally voted in substantial majorities for Democrats. On Tuesday, they stuck to their choice, despite his own pro-Israel bona fides. Trump cultivated Muslim and Arab American votes in Michigan, a battleground state. He won their support, in fact, by targeting their disaffection with the current Biden administration, which includes Vice President Kamala Harris, of course. Remember, the Biden administration has been slammed for failing to control Israel's conduct in the Gaza war. One exit poll had Harris garnering 77% of the Jewish vote. Another had her at 71%. And a post-vote analysis estimated Harris's share at 67%. And it looks like Jewish voters are the only segment of the electorate where Trump did not make inroads. Going straight across now to Caroline Presotti, VOA correspondent, joining us from Florida, who's been tracking those developments very closely. Caroline, good to have you back on the show. Let me begin by asking you for your assessment of what's really going on, the kind of message that Trump is trying to send out by not including or, talking about this particular demographic.
Well, good day here in West Palm Beach, Florida. It's a gorgeous day. The wind is expected to pick up because of the hurricane off the coast. But let me just show you right behind me on that side of the screen is Mar-a-Lago. And that is where Trump and Melania Trump live. And that is where they're holding their transition meetings. They are getting right down to business. No more celebratory events. They are concentrating on how they will now man the government. The transition team will be choosing the cabinet members. They'll be choosing important government officials who will lead the country. Now, of course, President-elect Trump has said we are going to have a smaller government. So he's going to have people look at the different agencies and cut where they can. He wants to cut down on the money going into the government. But the real key is here, he already has his transition co-chairs in place. And my information is that they have already reached out to various agencies, big agencies within the government, saying that they want to work with them on this transition. Meantime, in 15 minutes, President Joe Biden is holding a news conference in the Rose Garden at the White House. He will address the election results. He will also talk about the transition because the president called the president-elect the other day and said, congratulations, I want to invite you to the White House for this transition. Let's talk about it. And President-elect Trump accepted his invitation. So expect that to happen soon. Possibly Biden may even mention in his speech today when that will take place. Meantime, Donald Trump Jr. is very instrumental in this transition. He has said, we will be choosing people America first, right in line with our views. So those people who consider America first, cutting down on our imports, imposing tariffs, those will be the ones who are chosen. So that gives you some insight into how Donald Trump will begin his administration. He's already starting. As you know, he doesn't take office until the inauguration, and that is on January 20th. When he was last elected president in 2016, he did not start this early, but he is getting things done right now, laying the groundwork, meeting with important people, and choosing his staff.
Right. Caroline, one of the biggest topics of discussion in the run-up to the election and even now has been about what really happens now vis-a-vis West Asia. Trump has said he can stop the wars. In fact, the Ukraine war, he said he can stop within 24 hours. Tell us about, when you talk about the priorities, what would they look like specifically for West Asia?
You know, it's interesting. I heard you talk when you talked about the Hindis. You said that Trump mentioned not on my watch. he has used that phrase a lot. He has said, not on my watch would Russia have invaded Ukraine. Not on my watch would we have this issue with Israel and Gaza. So I believe that he is going to get in and then say, look, guys, I'm in charge now. This isn't going to happen. It does put the fear into world leaders worldwide, but of course they will stand up to the plate as well. We'll just have to see how those negotiations, those diplomatic negotiations play out. But Trump is positioning himself as the man in charge, the more authoritative person who can decide what world conflicts go forward and what world conflicts end. He's already talked about no more money to Ukraine unless it's a loan that they can pay back, not a gift from the United States. You will see now in the next 4 years, because President-elect Trump has said he's going to do this, he will pull us out of those international conflicts. He will pull the country out of those wars, and it will be, as I mentioned in the transition team, America first.
Right. We're leaving it there for the moment. Caroline, thanks very much for joining us with those inputs.
My pleasure.